If you watch a lot of YouTube videos, you must have seen this thing. This is called a tier list, and the S tier means the supreme or the absolute best. And if you're out there buying a Samsung phone, then this is their S tier for this year 2026, the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra. Flagship specs with some powerful AI display and camera features packaged into an aluminum and glass build. Wait, so no titanium this year? Big brands have been very quick to switch back from titanium to aluminum. Nevertheless, this feels solid, premium and lighter in hand compared to the outgoing S25 Ultra. You are going to need deep pockets for this phone, and not just because of the price but because of the size too. But that aside, let's talk about what's new in the design department. The main three cameras at the back now rest in an island which is more in line with the rest of the Samsung lineup. It is also now 0.3mm slimmer and 4 grams lighter than the S25 Ultra. And with the slimming down, the S Pen dock seems to have an issue. I've tested the S24 Ultra and the S25 Ultra after that, but only with the S26 Ultra, I've noticed an issue that the pen is sometimes docked out when you put a little pressure on the phone when keeping it in your pocket. Now, there are safeguards in place and it won't just slide out of the chassis, so you're least likely to lose your pen, but that's about the only nitpick I have about the S26 Ultra's design. The slimmer and lighter chassis now allows you to use the spoon longer with one hand, especially if you're in bed binge watching something, so you can continue to do that for a long time without any discomfort. But your room and your home are not the only places where you consume content, and not all content is meant for everyone's eye. So you already know where I'm headed with this. Privacy display is much more than meets the eye. Aside from partial blackouts like pins, passwords and notifications, you can also set it to maximum privacy mode, which will absolutely wash out the display for shoulder surface. But don't forget that this is a Samsung panel, so even with the privacy display on, the quality does not take much of a noticeable hit unless you're using it out in the open under direct sunlight. But with the privacy display off, this is hands down one of the sharpest screens I've tested in 2026. It is fast, fluid, responsive, and the privacy feature is really cool. And multimedia and binge watching consumption is even better on this phone because sound is half the experience, and the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra comes prepared. So if you're watching a video on YouTube, Netflix or any other major platform, you can just tap the audio eraser button and denoise the video in real time, which is a really cool feature if you like watching old grainy documentaries or films that have a lot of sound or noise in the background. And what if you don't want to consume but create content? Samsung says that one of the major upgrades they've made to this phone are the cameras here, because the wide and ultra wide can now take up to 50% more light, and the S26 Ultra can also take up to 8K 30fps videos from the rear lenses and up to 4K 30fps from the front. It is fast to focus, and pictures from all the lenses came out sharp and detailed in my testing. Skin tones are also retained well. Portrait mode edge detection works well for humans as well as other objects in the frame. And if you're into making action videos, then you have to try the horizon lock on this phone. You get only up to QHD 60fps video, and it is best used with ample lighting, but when I tested this, even the jitters are smoothed out. This video is taken while running, and not just the stabilization but focus shifting is also quick and spot on. 0.5x, 1x and 5x are optical zoom, and 3x and 10x are optical quality, so there's no major detail loss in these focal lengths. I think with all of these features in the rear cameras, the front ought to be a little bit overshadowed, but not in this case. The front also has quick focus and detailed results even in low light conditions. Galaxy AI Object Eraser was already there, and now Object Edition feature lets you enhance images with a text prompt. While it isn't perfect, even major AI corrections are cleanly executed most of the time. Since this sits even at the top of the S series, it is spec'd accordingly. Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 for Galaxy with up to 16GB RAM and 1TB of storage, and this triad helps run the show with One UI 8.5 with Android 16. There are plethora of Galaxy AI features including live translate, transcribe, hold assist, the audio eraser that we talked about earlier, and it also has agentic support to let you choose between Bixby, Gemini and Perplexity AI agents. The revised vapor chamber seems to be working well because this phone has run cool under demanding workloads in our testing, especially at BGMI with max graphics or Sky for long hours. However, if you're using this phone outdoors, especially with cameras with horizon lock and high resolution video, it tends to heat up a bit but not uncomfortably hot at any point. Now, one thing that concerned me about the S26 Ultra on the launch day was the 5000 mAh battery capacity. On such a high-end phone with these specs and a high resolution display, this battery is bound to drain at some point. However, after spending a week with this phone, I can confidently say that it will take you through the day if you're a moderate to heavy user. I charged this phone with two different chargers, a 20 watt and a 45 watt brick. Both were USB-C to C chargers, and the 20 watt brick took about 1 hour 10 minutes to juice it up from 10% to 95%, and the 45 watt brick took about 1 hour to juice it up from 10 to 90%. Spec for spec, I think this is one of the most powerful phones of 2026. One UI ensures that there's a smooth and optimum user experience. And now a question for you. We have already covered a ton of content around the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra, and we will be covering more. But what exactly would you like to see around this phone? Drop us a comment. Keep watching Gadgets 360. My name is Manik Beri, and I'll see you in the next video.